Every relationship hides a story, and every story carries pain. Welcome to Cheating Stories Insights, where truth bleeds through words. Her words hit me like a dull blade, not sharp enough to bleed, just deep enough to sting. "I can replace you in 24 hours, she said it with a smirk, chin tilted, arms crossed, the kind of arrogance born from being desired for too long. And I just looked at her, silent, still. Then I said, "Prove it." Her smile faltered for half a second, just enough to tell me she hadn't expected that. But she recovered, of course. She always did. "Fine," she said. "Don't regret it when you see what you lost." That was the last thing she said before storming off into the bedroom. I watched her reflection in the glass, her anger rehearsed, her pride intact. I finished my drink, stood up, and walked toward the door. By morning, the ring was gone from her finger. By nightfall, I was gone from her life. At first, I didn't plan revenge. I planned distance, space to breathe, to see who I was without her constant noise. But silence has a way of amplifying the truth. And the truth was, she had never loved me. She loved what I made her feel, chosen, envied, adored. So when she tried to replace me, it wasn't about love, it was about control. I watched from afar as she posted pictures with random men, different faces, same poses, same hollow captions about new beginnings. Each one lasted less than a week. By month 2, she was already repeating old patterns, reposting throwbacks, tagging friends in fake laughter, pretending she'd moved on. I didn't text, I didn't call, but I knew she watched my stories, every single one. What she didn't know was that someone else had been watching too. Her best friend, Maya, the untouchable one, the one she always claimed was too classy to be interested in me. Maya and I had shared polite smiles at parties, the kind that lingered a little too long. I used to think she pitied me. Later, I realized she understood me better than my fiancé ever had. A month after the breakup, I ran into Maya at a gallery. She looked at me the way someone looks at a ghost they'd secretly hoped to see again. We talked, we laughed, and when she placed her hand on my arm, I felt something that had been missing for a long time. Stillness. Not desire, not excitement, just calm. That night, I didn't tell her about the argument. I didn't need to. She already knew. "She said she could replace you," Maya whispered later, her voice soft, her eyes dark with something between pity and anger. "She can't even replace her reflection." I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Weeks turned into months. Maya and I began seeing each other quietly. We weren't flaunting it, but she knew. My ex. She saw the photos, me and the woman she'd once called her sister, and it burned her. At first, she tried to mock it online. Subtle captions, indirect quotes. "Some people date leftovers," she'd write. But beneath the performance, her smile had cracks. Her eyes gave her away. By the 6th month, I'd stopped looking for her posts. She'd become predictable. New man, same script. She wanted me to react, to care, to break silence with closure. But silence was my revenge. It always had been. It wasn't until I got a message from her, 8 months later, that I realized how far she'd fallen. "You win. Happy?" I didn't reply. She sent another. He left too. They all leave. And finally, was she worth it? I stared at the message for a long time, then typed a single line. Yes. No explanation, no gloating, just truth. She read it instantly. Then nothing. But later, Maya told me she'd heard from mutual friends. My ex had stopped going out, deleted her dating apps, started drinking more, told everyone I'd betrayed her, as if betrayal required loyalty from both sides. The irony wasn't lost on me. The last time I saw her was at a wedding. She didn't notice me at first. When she did, her body stiffened, like a reflex. Her new date was checking his phone. She was smiling, but her eyes weren't. I nodded once. No emotion, no bitterness, just acknowledgement. She looked away, but I saw it. The flicker of regret, the recognition of consequence. That look was my closure. Later that night, Maya and I walked out to the terrace. Music floated through the air, laughter spilling from the hall. She turned to me. "Does it still bother you?" I thought about that night, the smirk, the words, the arrogance. Then I realized something. It didn't, not anymore. Because revenge isn't about hurting someone. It's about reminding them who you really were when they tried to reduce you to nothing. And she remembered. Every time she opened her phone, every time she saw us together, every time silence answered her questions louder than anger ever could. I looked at Maya. She smiled. The kind of smile that doesn't need validation. The kind of smile built on peace, not power. Months later, I got one last message. No words, just a photo. A screenshot of her dating app account. Deleted. She'd captioned it, "You were right. I can't replace you." I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. I turned off my phone, stepped outside, and let the night air wash over me. Some victories aren't loud. They're quiet, surgical, precise. She thought 24 hours would erase me. But time has a way of teaching the arrogant that people aren't replaceable, only forgettable. And I didn't forget her. I outlasted her. Silence did the rest.